It is June 1st, 2021, NXT on USA Tuesday. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Alfred Konuwa and NYC Demon Diva, Issa herself. Good to see you both on this fine Tuesday, guys.
Great to see you. Happy Tuesday. Happy NXT Tuesday.
I know. So much build tonight for NXT in your house, which is coming up less than 2 weeks away.
NXT was wilding out tonight, man. I don't know what was going on there, but everybody was wilding out.
No, it was. That was like, I think they just wanted to make you think the show was like, it reminded me of like one of those episodes of Raw they did years ago where the goal was to make it seem chaotic. So they had like some guy run out in front of Batista. But this wasn't a good night for William Regal because a lot of the stuff on here just was designed to make you think like, who's in charge here? It's somebody like get this under control. And before that, he was so good as a GM.
He looked like an angry father that couldn't control his kids. At one point, I thought he was gonna come out and be like, "It's cold in your house because you're all grounded." he was so mad. He was so mad tonight.
Yeah. Man, it was a chaotic night, and we opened with the number one contenders triple threat: Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Johnny Gargano, and it seemed like we were going to get the full match, but then Adam Cole showed up, and it all went to hell.
Yeah, I mean, we have been saying he hasn't been seen in a couple of weeks, right? Like, I know his name has like, what's going on with him? I will say before he came out, I had a suspicion when I saw this match open the show. I thought it was definitely the main event. So I was like, something's weird here. But the match itself was going so good that I was angry at Adam Cole. I was like, why do you have to come out? This match was a banger. It was a very well booked triple threat match. I felt like it didn't feel like somebody was outside while two guys were going at it. They were all three of them were working with each other. Pete Dunne was amazing. But yeah, I have to say I was a little bit upset when Adam Cole had to come out and interrupt that. But my suspicion went up as soon as I saw it opening the show. I thought something was up.
Yeah.
There's a few reasons that this pissed me off. It's like we just saw like a whole pay-per-view filled with outside interference. And I feel like I'm at my wit's end with that. And then here we go on NXT, like another episode of AEW is like outside interference. And I feel like the better a match is before the outside interference, the worse I'll look at the match. It's like if you put together a Jenga tower and like somebody knocks it over right before you get to the last piece. That's essentially what Adam Cole did. And I think it made the match worse because it was so good leading up to the finish that it's like they string you along and you feel like you've wasted your time. So
no finish.
I was not very happy to see this. And this was the first time with William Regal just kind of looking like a goof.
Yeah, no finish on a no DQ, everything goes match, right? And I was talking about that on Twitter, and a lot of people were going like, well, they couldn't get back up. I'm like, no, you get back up and you beat his butt. Like, that is not, like Regal should have been the authority figure and rebooked it and gotten Adam Cole out of there. So I agree with you. I did not like that this match didn't have a finish. I was probably too upset at that moment that he even interrupted such an amazing match that was going on, but makes you think about in your house main event is going to be incredible. We'll get to that. But yeah, I didn't like that he had no finish at all. Like, what was the point then? We could have just not booked it and done a different angle tonight.
And now I really wonder about who's potentially going to the main roster, given that it's going to be a fatal 5-way in 2 weeks at In Your House with Karrion, Kross, Adam Cole, Gargano, O'Reilly, and Pete Dunne. This could go any number of ways.
Yeah, but it did feel like a little bit of a star value and power came with Adam Cole tonight that hasn't been felt in NXT in a while. I have to admit it, and I am a big fan of Karrion Kross, huge fan. But there was something about Adam Cole coming back tonight that just felt so much more hype, and there's just a hype that hasn't been like there. You know what I mean? So I don't know that Adam Cole is going to be called up anytime. So I don't know if he wins, but I don't see him coming up soon.
Yeah, maybe.
And he at the very least needed that 2 months off because this is the freshest he's felt since being in NXT in years. I mean, he's just kind of been there for a long time and he's always able to be relevant. But I feel like a lot of people feel like that he's overstayed his welcome. But at least coming back in a segment like that, I'm sure we'll get to it. I thought that he did a very good job there.
Yeah. So great match. Terrible finish in the sense that we didn't get a clear winner, but setting the table for In Your House. And we'll talk about these promos in a moment, but we had Ember Moon. So I liked how they did all this crisscrossing over tonight. how everyone was just kind of like walking past and was there. It felt kind of Aaron Sorkin-esque that we had all this action going on backstage, and we didn't know who the camera would be following. So Ember calling out Raquel Gonzalez, over which she did Shotzi or Dakota Kai attacking from behind. Got a promo from Legado del Fantasma ahead of their championship match against MSK. And then LA Knight against Jake Atlas. And I have to admit, LA Knight out there with Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes coming out. I was really, I had the draft tweet ready to go about like who has Jake Atlas offended for him to get punked out like this. And then the momentum shifted and he won the match.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to beat Jake Atlas on the first day of Pride Month like that, especially not with freaking LA Knight.
Do you remember when Titus O'Neil on the 4th of July came out in the Apollo Creed, like jumps, like look and whatnot, and Miro beat the crap out of him? And then I think there was a follow-up to the match on Father's Day when Titus got the crap kicked out of him. By I think it was Randy Orton at the time. So I never put it past WWE to really swerve you with those expectations.
Yeah, going back to Ember Moon, I love her attitude. I think this is like Alfred was saying about Adam Cole. I felt that from Ember Moon tonight. That's the freshest and the most convincing that she's come out in a while. I loved her tonight. She was not going to give up. I did think it was a little bit, I don't know, maybe I'm overanalyzing here, but I thought it's silly to call out Raquel and not be expecting Dakota from somewhere just based on the attack. So, that made her look a little bit not so smart, right? But I really loved her attitude throughout the show tonight. And I do think she could go in a singles field right now with Dakota Kai or Raquel Gonzalez. So I really appreciated how they did it. I didn't think that Jake Atlas was losing. I thought that a lot of people wanted Ted DiBiase with Cameron Grimes, and maybe I figured we were going to get there somehow. And I think that's what we're getting finally, because last week was not it.
Now that I think about it, like, don't be surprised if Ted DiBiase picks Jake Atlas. Like, he beat both these guys. Yeah. And, like, he's done it in a way that makes you forget. Like, as soon as he wins, then it goes straight to whatever they're doing. And we say, yeah, Jake Atlas won, and everybody's making it about those two guys. I mean, if you're just looking at this from a common sense standpoint in the past 2 weeks, Jake Atlas is the guy who's beating these two guys who are arguing and showing their flaws. So maybe Ted DiBiase goes with Jake Atlas. I don't like it. It doesn't sound like a good pairing, but I think that might be where this is going initially to swerve us.
Excellent observation, Alfred. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. There a lot of potential for this to keep it going in a number of different directions. So good for Jake Atlas. I want to see him get some momentum. I want to see him get some wins.
Me too. And he looked great tonight. Absolutely.
So after that, we had Ted DiBiase cutting the promo. And
guys, I'm sorry. Did something weird happen? Because I don't know if it was my feed or when he started with the promo and then they immediately cut it off and went to commercial, and I didn't get to see what he said.
That happened to me as well.
They showed they cut to Adam Cole and then they cut away from it, and he didn't get to finish what he was saying.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went on my TV as well. It was a weird cutout.
They'll probably be online.
Yeah.
Maybe there are clues. Maybe it'll unlock the mystery. Where it's all going. So Adam Cole in the ring cutting a promo, explaining a bit his actions tonight, talking about winning the NXT title back. Karrion Kross comes out. Best part, gas station weasel.
I actually Googled the term.
What is it? What is it, Issa? Please.
No, it doesn't exist.
Well, it does now.
I think he meant to say something and then he just forgot one word, so he just went straight to weasel.
Alfred, I went to Urban Dictionary. I went to everything. I'm going to add it on Urban Dictionary. I was like, what does that mean? Is that some kind of slang that I don't know about? I felt old too. I was like, am I old now that I don't understand these slang things? But no, it's not a term at all.
Issa, please add it to Urban Dictionary. Myself, Glenn in the chat will all upvote it so that it can be the official description for gas station weasel.
I'll share the link after the podcast.
Please.
Yeah, it was memorable, but I'm not sure what he meant. I think you can infer a number of different meanings there. But I liked Adam Cole's point that Karrion Kross needs Scarlett, needs the entrance, needs all of this, and Adam just needs to show up.
Yeah, that was an incredible line. Great bar from Adam Cole. All I need to do to make me stand out is ring the freaking bell. And I like the segment as a whole. I know we're having fun with Karrion Kross. What I loved about this segment is it came off like a legitimate argument, even down to Karrion Kross, because when two people are arguing, at some point somebody's going to get so mad that they flub their words or they say something off or whatnot. And I don't want to apologize for this because I absolutely love Karrion Kross outside of that gas station Weasel reference. He reminded me of like Batista. Like, I don't want him talking a lot, but if he is going to talk, if they're going to force him to cut promos, I like him screaming with that type of intensity, like he's about to fight him. And I really liked how they went back and forth. Also, like Adam Cole calling him overrated is kind of a realistic diss of Karrion Kross. It is something you would say, I think, in real life to, you know, given all he's gotten so far, and he did get hurt, and, you know, he hasn't set the world on fire in the ring, but I guess some detractors would say that. And the fact that Adam Cole said that, I think, made it more realistic.
Okay, but Adam Cole doesn't have a win like this year, like at all. Like Adam Cole is fine, and I understand how the segment ended up going, which I also don't think makes Karrion Kross look. I mean, it is badass if he wins. If he doesn't win, he's gonna look like an idiot, right? For saying I want everybody, give me everybody. That's badass if you squish if you end up winning. But if you don't, you're gonna go into the same thing that happened to Io. But this time you're asking for more people. But that being said, it felt like they were rewarding Adam Cole's behavior, which I had no problem with. I told you, I love the way he came out tonight, but I didn't think any of that behavior should be rewarded a title shot, which is where, once again, that authority figure should have come in and be like, no, you don't make the match. This guy has not done anything to earn a title shot and ruin my event today. So I feel a little weird about that, and I get it. Karrion Kross asked for him, but, you know, technically speaking, Adam Cole should not be in the title picture.
Right, and that's the problem. They did the opposite of what you were saying they should do. In that Regal did come in and say he tried to do that, but then Karrion Kross was just like, "Shut up, Regal!" It was such a bad night for William Regal. He came off like an afterthought. Like, why are people talking back to him?
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people online were like, is this for real? Like, is this promo for real? And I love the disbelief of, like, do these guys have beef or not? Because it felt that way. It did.
Excellent.
Yeah, it is interesting that Regal didn't seem as in control.
No, that's the story of this episode. If there's one takeaway they wanted you to remember, it's this guy doesn't have any control over any of these people.
No, they're rebelling against him. That's how it felt tonight. It was chaotic. It was a great show, though. It took off from the start. Once again, another episode of NXT that started strong and never slowed down.
It felt like the pro wrestling version of Brexit. Like,
Justin Lopez, $4.99. That promo was fire. It felt like a shooting soul. I wanted to see them go one-on-one. I could see something screwy happening here, or Kross retains, and then they go one-on-one at TakeOver, SummerSlam, whatever the next one is.
Yeah, maybe a distraction.
Yeah.
I could see Cole and O'Reilly kind of cancel each other out. They did hint to that. I don't know if they're going to go back to that. And they did, when they were going off on those stretchers, were yelling at each other. So they did hint that it's not over yet. But I would have no problem with Cole and Karrion Kross, especially after those promos.
Did you think that Adam Cole was coming out for Kyle O'Reilly when you first saw him come out? I was not expecting him at first to just go after everyone. I'm like, he even killed the referee. Like, he was going off. I thought he was only coming for Kyle O'Reilly. So, that's what I assumed was happening there.
Lots of different directions. I'm excited, though, to see where all this goes. And we'll find out at TakeOver in your house coming up a week from Sunday on Peacock. Let's see. Backstage, Kensler and Indy Hartwell asked him about Poppy returning next week. Poppy's coming back.
She got a lot of references on that show. After that segment, they must have referenced her like 10 times. I don't know if her PR team got to them, but she got a lot of shout outs on this show.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of tweets too.
Yeah, she's very talented. I didn't know about her before WWE and NXT or whatnot, but she's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd heard one song of her a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see the music that crosses paths with wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you think Candice LeRae says she's trying to be the next Bad Bunny?
Yes. Of course. So open challenge for the NXT Cruiserweight title. We had Carmelo Hayes, formerly known as Christian Casanova, challenged Kushida tonight. Issa, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was great. I like the video package to introduce Carmelo Hayes for those who are not familiar with him. I saw his name roaming around social media this week too a couple of times. So I was wondering if we were going to see him. Right? I heard a couple of good things about him, but I also saw a couple of tweets with him, and I'm like, okay, this guy must be coming soon because he's been mentioned a lot. It was an excellent match, good debut. I mean, he lost, but it was expected. But I didn't think he looked bad in defeat. There was a couple of crazy spots in there. I mean, nothing's gonna top that main event match. That match was absolute insanity. But I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed with Carmelo Hayes. I thought he was very good in terms of his wrestling was very unique. He had a lot of unique, like almost like seeing somebody wrestle left-handed, where it's like you do these moves backwards, like that backwards leg drop. He had that really cool.
That's what it was. I was thinking something felt a little odd, but I liked it. You know what I mean? Like it was
exactly. It really stood out. I really liked him. He was like a breath of fresh air. I thought he was very good in there. You could tell they see something in him, and they gave him a lot with Kushida, and they had him go with this really long match. It's kind of the formula for NXT, and I think it's more realistic that way. We're used in wrestling. We're used to people winning their debut matches, and that probably should happen as a rule of thumb. But in NXT, you kind of have to work your way up. That's what they're doing with Zoe Stark. She kind of started off and lost, and now she's kind of working her way up, and I have no problem as long as they commit to it. I would just like a better, like more creativity than like I'm a first round draft pick and all that stuff. But I think they've got something in this guy. This guy was really good.
They feel like we just had one of these with the women like a month or two ago, where it was like the handshake after the respect, the raising of the hand.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I feel like NXT goes back to this quite often. I don't know. I mean, what's better, to launch as a talent and be in a hot feud and a hot angle, or just have a burner match where you win the respect of the champion or your opponent? Like, I don't know. I don't know which is better for NXT. I'd prefer a hot angle if it was me, because I think there's a place to go from there, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what they do next. But this was a good match.
It was.
Yeah, I liked it.
Frankie Monet, a little promo from her backstage.
I love her promo.
She's so good.
I can't get enough of her. And the way she was reading this review, she's a star. It still doesn't lead us in where is she going next, but that's okay. I just want to see. I want to see her in a feud already, because she's gonna. I can't wait to see her cut promos against someone.
Yeah. She better have a good match for In Your House. They better do something with her.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder who they put her with, because that's next week, isn't it? Isn't it coming up?
It's a week from Sunday, so I was expecting more feuds to start getting set up, because there's only 2 matches set for In Your House.
Yeah.
And did they set the women's tag team match after the opening segment tonight? It seemed like
they didn't announce. I don't think they announced that. They just have the champions won in a non-title match, so it's not like they're setting anybody up.
But I don't think it's going to be a championship, right? Based on that opening with Ember calling them out and then Ember getting attacked.
Oh, right.
By Dakota.
I don't know what they've announced.
Well, that would be weird if the NXT Women's Championship wasn't on the card, and it's Raquel.
Oh, it has to be in the card. Yeah. It has to be.
I agree, but who though? Who? I mean, is Ember going to get a title? So if it's not a non-title tag match, Ember's got to get a title shot,
right?
But it's going to be very last minute. I think it's going to feel very last minute. I mean, which will kind of
it definitely will
dictate that Ember is not winning that match.
It's crazy when you think about it that we have such a heavy show and we didn't get anything really set up for In Your House.
Yeah, I know. It feels like a lot happened, but at the end of the day, and again, this goes back to William Regal, nothing got done. Like, what kind of ship is he running here?
Yeah, well, we got the main event. I mean, the Fatal 5 was going to be the main event, right?
Yes, yeah, we got the main event.
So that's something. But I don't know. I mean, like, man, I feel like they do such an amazing job every week on NXT that I don't know. I mean, it's not like WWE with Raw or SmackDown where it's like, well, we have a pay-per-view and then there's this lull. And I mean, I feel like they're doing takeover quality matches. So according to this, 4 matches have been announced.
Oh, really? What are they?
Wait, now this says it's, this is according to Wikipedia. This could be wrong, but this says it's going to be Raquel versus Ember for the NXT Women's Championship.
I don't think that's being announced officially. I mean, I can see them going that way, but I don't think they made it official unless it's under, they only announce things on social media now. So
that's true. And this is saying Zelee versus Mercedes Martinez, LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, and the Fatal 5-Way.
That promo was really good. The Mercedes Martinez promo. Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, we had this NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, not non-championship match, but Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell against Zeta Ramir and Zoe Stark, with, of course, the way Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell winning. this was nice.
Yeah, it was a match.
I mean, it was pleasant. It didn't feel like played out.
It wasn't like great. It wasn't. I didn't think it was particularly bad.
I mean, look, it's been a lot of. I mean, a lot's been going on for wrestling. We had SmackDown last Friday night. Still got Back to the Future 3 on my DVR. I haven't gotten around to finishing that yet. We had Double or Nothing on Sunday, Raw last night, NXT tonight. It's just nonstop wall-to-wall wrestling.
Right. Which makes some of the matches just there. But then again, Raw never happened. Raw last night was horrible. I was excited for NXT to palate cleanse what I had to watch last night.
I've yet to have somebody in the couple months that have stopped doing Raw be like, "Oh, dude, you got to watch Raw last night." I haven't even had, "Dude, you got to watch this segment from Raw last night."
No. That's crazy. That's a good point. I can't remember the last time I heard somebody say that.
Yeah,
I think you'll get it just for Sheamus' nose incident.
Yeah, he was bleeding everywhere. That was insane.
Do you see his picture today?
No, is his nose busted up now?
It's bad. It's not John Cena 2015 bad, but it's bad. It's broken. It's fully broken. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a tough spot on a pointless match. But listen, we're not here to talk about Raw.
So what did you like, Issa, about Mercedes' promo against Zealy tonight?
Actually, it was a silly promo that I enjoyed even more because she took it way back to the Mae Young Classic long-term booking. She's just staring at that old match with such intensity. And I know that I was reading the captions. I do not know what she was saying. It didn't matter. That's how good I felt her delivery was with that promo. And just the fact that you think about it, she's like, has she been sitting there this entire time waiting for her revenge? If so, I feel bad for Mercedes then when they finally face each other. I thought she had an amazing delivery, especially cutting a promo in a whole different language. Granted, it was backstage, it was pre-tape, but they did a really good job with this.
I agree. I love this from Zealy. I like that they called back to that because a lot of people, when they have complained about the fact that they're feuding, they'll say, "Oh, well, Mercedes Martinez is kind of legit. She's kind of a shooter. Why is they pairing her with the Hocus Pocus girl?" But the fact that she did call back to that, what happened in the Mae Young Classic, it really kind of speaks to a competitiveness, and I think that's great storytelling. So I like when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I did like Mercedes as well, the way that she came up, a little hood, it just goes to show how different they are, which makes you excited to just see them go at it, because I got that mess with me, kind of I wish you would kind of attitude from Mercedes, so I was excited for that too.
Well, we did, Alonso pointing out there was that confrontation in the parking lot with Hit Row, Drake, Karrion, and Everrise. Wonder if that's going to happen next week. That would be a great match to open TakeOver with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like how Brady called Drake Maverick Bam Bam.
So good.
They're so good. They should just be running through people right now.
Yeah. Hopefully it starts at TakeOver.
Yeah, I think they deserve the platform because their promos have been great. Their look is great. They've got so much swagger individually and as a group.
And every week they're using them differently, and I appreciate that. We're seeing a whole different side of them. It's not becoming the same thing they're coming out and cutting promos every week. No, every week we're seeing a different angle, a different perspective. It's keeping them very fresh, and it makes us want to see more.
Yeah.
Yes. And when they do the diss track, please call Killian Dane Danity Kane. Let's keep that going. Because I, for a while, had to look it up and remind myself which was which. That's in my head how much I was interchanging the two. So another MMA themed vignette for the Diamond Mine. Alfred, who's in the Diamond Mine? What's your guess?
I don't, I've been saying maybe Arturo Ruas has got to be one of them, but they've been doing these for a long time now, it seems. So hopefully we get a debut. Maybe they're building to take over In Your House, but I think it's a stable of shooter type guys. And
another stable.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they're doing right now in NXT. A lot of people, if you've noticed, have gotten in stable suddenly.
Where do you think they get that idea from?
I don't know. I don't want to assume anything, but...
The booking tonight, the distractions, the chaos, I don't know. I'm just saying it looked very similar.
Federal state prison, is that what you're referring to? All the chaos and groups that you have to form there? That's what I get the ideas from.
Yeah. Back to the Future 3 is what I'm referring to.
Second favorite in the series. League of Extraordinary Culture, $5. Will I ever revive, as it were, with maybe Issa or Alfred? So yeah, we haven't been doing as it were on stereo the last 2 months. I mean, quite frankly, I've just been so tired. So tired all the time.
Poor Glenn.
But Issa, let's plug your stereo channel. You've still been doing stuff on there, right?
I do stereo. Actually, I have a show every day. At
Every day?
No, Monday through Friday at 2:30, and then I do my own on Thursdays at 8.
Wow, that's fantastic. See? Holding it down. Keeping it going.
That's awesome.
Be sure to follow her on stereo, stereo.com/NYC Demon Diva. I just need more energy. I need to do something. I got my eating back on track.
Like, with all the traveling you were doing, that would throw you off.
I didn't have takeout for over a year. So when I was in Vegas and I didn't have a fridge, it was like, oh my God, I can get Del Taco delivered. This is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I only put on like 5 pounds, but still, like, I've taken that off. But I just need more energy. My sleep is all over the place. I slept 15 hours last night, if you can believe that.
Wow.
What?
Do you feel balanced today? Do you feel more energy today?
No, I feel more tired today after sleeping 15 hours. I didn't say, but they weren't great. It was more like a series of like 2-hour naps.
What?
Think of it that way. And like that I was awake and I was asleep and I was awake. I got to do something. You know, it's getting warm out. I'm going to start with the DDPY again. I think that's the key because my diet has been okay, but I got to get the flexibility, the circulation, get all that back, you know?
You drink coffee?
I drink probably far too much coffee.
And that's not, well, I guess you're like me then. Once you drink too much of it, it just doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it's good. But then there's that problem, though, because then you get that awake but tired feeling where it's like I've had coffee and now I can't fall asleep, but yet I somehow also feel exhausted.
Right.
Which is terrible. So we'll see. We'll see. But now I got to get my energy back. And once I move, I think I'm going to be podcasting more. So everyone knows I haven't talked about this in a while, but in Vegas, where I'm moving, and the move's probably not happening until August or September. But I've got an office and studio that I'm going to do from the ground up. And part of it is because I want to podcast more and I want to do more on YouTube. I want to get more going. So that's in the cards.
Glenn, we're gonna need you to move by August because if the rumors are true, we're all
true.
planning on staying at your place.
I'm like 30
I wasn't going to get a hotel. We
straight.
were all staying with you for SummerSlam, so you better make it happen.
I'm like 30 minutes from the strip. I'll come and see you. But no, stay at Nobu inside Caesar's Palace. I stayed there for StarCast. It's like a little hotel, secret hotel in a hotel. Yeah. And it's right near the restaurant. The best part is they just like rush you right into the restaurant with no waiting if you want to go eat there.
Yeah.
Eat at the bar. Nobu is the bomb. Like, I don't do fancy food very often, but Nobu is definitely where it's at. Anyhow, back to tonight. So yeah, next week, Ember's taking on Kai, and she said she's coming for the title. So probably a takeover against.
It's gonna be a good match.
I could see that.
And it was good to see Ember have some fire on her again, not just the tag team,
but
just like by herself. She looked great tonight.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. And then we had the main event, the NXT Tag Team title match, Legado del Fantasma versus MSK. MSK retaining, which I kind of figured was going to happen, but I don't know. Alfred, what did you think of this match?
I thought the last sequence made up because it started a lot slower than I thought it would, but like that finishing sequence was so good in terms of, like you said, Glenn, I absolutely expected MSK to win, but the way they did things with the outside interference, where you're kind of thinking they're going another way, I thought they did an incredible near fall where literally at like the last second that his hand could have possibly hit the floor, they broke it up for, or Nash Carter, I think, came in and broke it up. So I thought this was good. It was just a story was Wesley selling for a lot, which I didn't think. I thought they were just going to get to the high flying, but they wrestled a good professional wrestling match. But that last 5 minutes was so exciting. And I like how Bronson Reed came in out of nowhere and just pushed Santos Escobar.
Yeah, what was that? And I thought that Grizzly Jump veterans also tried to interrupt and they got jumped by, that was like all insane. But let me ask you something. Which match do you prefer better, this one or the Usos and the Street Profits?
Oh, definitely Usos and Street Profits.
Right? Okay.
That was a straight up wrestling match. It didn't have all this outside stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it took a while for both of them started kind of slow, but this one I think it took a long time for them to kind of get to where I expected them to be for much of the match.
Yeah, we have been blessed with a lot of good tag team wrestling the last few days, except for Raw. The last few days, we have been blessed with a lot of really good tag team wrestling, but it feels like everything is so different, from all of these matches. It just feels refreshing to see tag team wrestling happening again, because when it's done right, it's so good. I really like this. Like you said, there was a couple of selling spots there from Legado del Fantasma. Both of them did an amazing job at selling. I did think that MSK was going to retain, but it didn't make the match less entertaining.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. It was very good. I just think that is for such a chaotic episode to have this be the capper. Like it was very well done. but
Yeah.
kind of predictable ending. Alonzo Smith is bringing up a very good question, saying, I'd love for Malcolm Bivens to have a stable called Diamond Mine. He's a great manager. If I was an NXT superstar, I'd love for him to be my manager. What's up with Malcolm Bivens? He was managing into Sheer, right?
Yes, and then who's the other guy? Tyler. See, I don't even remember the guy's name. He had somebody else who he was managing for a while, actually, and now it's over with. We haven't heard from them.
He's probably, in my opinion, given his mic work and Stokely Hathaway.
Tyler Rust.
Indies. Stokely Hathaway on the Indies, correct? That was his name?
Malcolm Bivens, yes.
Yeah. Probably the most hyped, not hyped by NXT, but the most hype, most excitement for signing, especially someone for their promos. And it's kind of amazing how NXT has just slept on him. It feels like they've slept on him completely. That's
exactly what's going on. It's been months, hasn't it, since we've seen him? And he used to be on TV every week to a point, and I don't know what. And I liked Tyler Rust. I thought Tyler Rust was very, very good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Bernie DC is saying Tyler Rust, who you referred to as Diamond in the Rust.
There you go. I think we're figuring this out. Bernie DC.
Wow, the chat slithering. Respect.
Well, then I would like it a lot more if that's what it was. But I mean, Tyler Rust isn't much. I mean, they're showing a lot of this MMA. I don't know where Tyler Rust figures unless he's part of a stable. And he's just got all these diamonds in the rough. So we'll see.
Okay, that would be that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
This is very interesting. I could see they're going to have to debut them
in your house.
Maybe at In Your House.
Have they announced NXT going back to Full Sail or on the road? They haven't, right?
I haven't heard anything on NXT.
Which maybe, because it's making me wonder if they're waiting for a crowd, even though I know that they have a partial crowd there, but I would assume in July they have to start planning on going back to at least Full Sail. And then that will be a great time to debut. I just hate everything feeling like on a standstill in so many shows until, there's a crowd there for it.
I feel like we're very much living in the in-between now, where every day I'm seeing everything's opening back up and then nothing's opening back up. I feel like I just get conflicting messages all day. Like in July, things are going to be normal. Like, we're not doing anything till October. It's like, what is going on? Can we get all the same page?
I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people out there without masks, and I'm still waiting on my second shot. So now I'm more afraid to leave my house than I was before.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't know who's protected and who's not protected.
It's
so
terrible.
I'm just gonna stay still until I know that I am. Because you can't really ask people, are you, so I don't know. But they're lifting restrictions in places and people are just like masking off right away.
I've seen the videos from Vegas, like Fremont Street and stuff. It looks a lot like it did before, but my thing is I'm waiting about 2 weeks. I want to see what Memorial Day this past weekend did. I want to see that impact that has, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to process and make some decision. Cut my own hair again. This may be for the last time if everything's, going to be back to normal, but who knows?
I'm hoping everybody's protected because I thought Double or Nothing looked and sounded beautiful. It was amazing.
Awesome visual to see just all those people. Daly's place was shot really well. I thought it looked really cool to see all those people in the same place.
Yeah, and they did a good job with some of the camera work to make it. They know it was going to be emotional, and it hit the spot. Yeah. So I'm hoping everybody is protected. But did it make you wonder for 1 second? Are all these people really vaccinated?
Right? Not in Florida, they're not.
I was going to say.
A lot of people traveled in for it, though.
That's right. It is a flying crowd. That's for sure. Yeah.
I think that's worse, actually, because
I think that's why people go to Florida. Like, well, screw this California stuff.
Right.
I'll go when there's no COVID for a weekend and then go back.
It is weird, but you have to wonder with WWE, like they're seeing this go on in AEW. Like, could they just not get an outdoor venue or someone inside doing the math? I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist business wise, but it's interesting that WWE wouldn't try and find a way to match that, given that the Thunderdome hasn't been cutting it for probably 40% of its existence.
I think the Thunderdome cut it until we started seeing fans again. I think WrestleMania killed the Thunderdome, and now yesterday it was a bad trip after watching Double or Nothing going back to that. But I think the Thunderdome, was a thing up until that point. They should have started researching, like you said, Glenn, probably after WrestleMania, seeing just how much amazing it was.
Yeah. Well, and outdoors, Outdoors has got to offer some level of lowering the risk.
Right.
So anyhow, that was NXT tonight. It was a very good show. Alfred, what do we got in the news?
Well, first in the news, I'm sure one of the more surprising things that happened was Mark Henry showing up on AEW TV or at the pay-per-view at AEW Double or Nothing. And so they've announced that Mark Henry has signed a multi-year deal with AEW. He's going to be an expert analysis, a coach, and a scout for the company. So he's also going to be the color commentator on AEW Rampage, which debuts on August 13th. What do you guys think about Mark Henry to AEW? Are you guys shocked?
I was. When I saw him show up, I thought he was going to stay with WWE, but I know he's been very open about wanting more, wanting another match. And I feel like that's the same. I feel very, I don't want to compare them, but it feels like the Big Show, case. And I hear him on Busted Open Radio. I think he might be a good addition for them as an analyst, and their commentating team needs a lot of help. So maybe they're trying to start seasoning some people for that.
He's brought a lot of talent to WWE.
Yeah, he brought Daniel Bryan to WWE. He helped with, I think Leo Rush. He helped Xavier Woods. A lot of people are there because of Mark Henry. He's like one of the more respected, minds in terms of wrestling in the business.
What's going on? What's this blind spot that WWE has? You know what I mean? It seems like not just behind the camera, or not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera. Like they're letting some people go that really provide value for the company.
Yeah, and well, a lot of this is they're really starting to look at that stock price, and they're really trying to cut that company down. They have a new guy in there, Nick Khan, and so he's just cutting a lot of people out and putting some of his people in there, and he's trying to whittle it down so that there's more cost cutting. And it sucks to talk about it like this because it's people's lives, and they released 60 people last week, but there's just, and I hear that they're not even close to being done in terms of them just cutting down that company. Yeah. Don't take my word for it, but there's rumors that this might be a sale in 2023, 24. There's at least going to be an offer. And if they do end up selling the company, they'd want it to be as lean as possible. But just there's nothing, it's too early to even speculate about that. Right. But,
But do you think, not to play devil's advocate here, but we have to look at it from two perspectives. I also can see Tony Khan just being really aggressive, going after people and making offers that they just can't refuse. These people have been content in contracts with WWE for a long time. Don't you think that also the side persuading them is also making them an extremely good offer that they can't refuse? It might not be a WWE thing. It might just be Tony Khan outsmarting them and giving them, an offer they can't refuse. Because I can see him doing that.
For sure. And I think it might be a little bit of both. I think it serves both parties. One party in WWE will look at people like a Mark Henry or like a Big Show and think, okay, they're older. We don't really need them here. And somebody with Tony Khan's position is looking at them like, well, these guys are big stars who can help build my brain in AEW. There's going to be people who see that a lot of these familiar faces are with my company. It'll give me more credibility in the mainstream.
And I also feel like AEW is finally starting to establish themselves, grow, and become a company that people will want to work for. I feel like maybe when they first came out, all these people might have been like, yeah, no, but now that they see that it's a legit thing, then it looks more attractive to make the call and see what they have to offer.
Right. And I love this. I love the fact that these wrestlers now have options because it's going to raise the amount of money that they make, and it's way better for the business at large. So this is one of the main reasons that I like that there's an AEW.
Me too, and it makes the days where they come out with this long list of releases less depressing because back a couple of years ago, there was nowhere for them to go. Now you start wondering, oh my God, they have all these options.
Terry Allen Jr. saying about the main event, notice Raul waiting in the corner to be hit. I did not notice that.
I didn't either. That's funny.
What else is in the news?
The new announcer, WWE RAW announcer Jimmy Smith debuted last night on Raw, and he has been getting a lot of great reviews. I know on Twitter a lot of people were praising him. And now Russell Votes, who's a WWE Insider account, said that Backstage, they gave him rave reviews and said that he was a natural fit. So I know we hated Raw last night. I know it was just another episode of Raw, but I do think that Jimmy Smith was the one bright spot of Raw, and I think he's going to be really good for them.
He felt like a natural. I watched Raw yesterday, and you would have never been able, if you didn't know, you would have not known that it was his first day. He did his homework. He knew the talent. He knew the moves. He knew the storylines. I know that Brian and Corey Graves helped him but his voice is so much more smooth too. It's meant for this kind of product where the other guy, I forgot his name.
Adnan Berg. Oh, poor Adnan.
That's so bad. I forgot his name, but Adnan never sounded like he belonged. Where this guy just fit right in. I did enjoy it, and I gave him a compliment. I thought it was great. I can't wait to see what else he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he was very, very good. I'm very excited to see what as he continues to grow, because this is just his first show. He's only going to hopefully get better after this. It depends on how he takes to Vince McMahon in his ear, but I think he's got a promising future.
Yeah.
I would pay a lot of money just to be able to hear the feed of just Vince in the announcers.
Some of the stuff that they can offer for, like, remember that, the Ultimate Warrior documentary had that blooper of where he had to apologize and he's arguing with Vince. He's questioning whether he should do it in character. So he goes, I apologize on behalf of the war. No, that's not it. That's not it. Like, that's the stuff they need to show on WWE Network. They need to have a show where they put a camera next to Vince McMahon behind the curtain and just show his reaction to various segments. I mean, people would watch that.
That will be a picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
Raw's ratings will go way up.
So what? You just see him throwing his headset after a certain oh my God.
That would be good.
Is that all for the news?
That is all for the news.
Slow day.
Yeah, pretty slow. Past couple of weeks have been very busy, so not too much going on.
Fun, man. So it's fine. League of Extraordinary Culture, $5 wants to know, what musical artists are you listening to when you're not watching wrestling?
Wow.
Ooh.
All kinds. Run the Jewels is one of my favorites. I like 21 Savage. I was kind of late. I didn't like him that much when he first came out, but he's really grown on me in the past year. This pandemic, we've gotten very close, me and 21 Savage.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I got in with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is my guy right now. He just released a new song. We have another one coming out. So, he makes me happy throughout the pandemic. So that's been my choice.
I discovered, I was late on this, but I finally started listening to Robin right before the pandemic started. So for the past year, I've been catching up on a lot of that, more than just Call Your Girlfriend and Dancing on My Own. But that's love for music. It's just so good. She's such a talented pop artist.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I watch a lot of this old MTV stuff and this old like TBS Night Track. So a lot of it is stuff that stuff that I wouldn't even say I would listen to it normally, or maybe I'm not loving it for the right reasons. Like I love it and appreciate it. Like what was one that I hadn't heard the song in 30 years. We're watching TBS Night Tracks and they had Ready for the World's Let Me Love You Down, which like you hear that and you're just like, how do I know this song yet I haven't heard it for 30 years? And you're just like, is it a good song, or do I just have a weird nostalgia for how like quirky it is? It's a very quirky R&B ballad.
It depends on your mood. Then
there's some stuff I swear that like I started out making fun of, but now I genuinely like am into it.
Yeah.
Like Martika's follow-up record to Toy Soldiers, like Martika's Kitchen. At first I was like, well, this is a silly album title. And like kitchen's a euphemism, right? And now it's like, okay, we have album covers framed all over our house. So I was telling my wife at the new place, we're getting a framed Martika's Kitchen 12-inch for the kitchen. We're going to have that up there as a centerpiece of our kitchen. But again, I think I was making fun of it at first, and I started liking it.
Yeah, that's how I got into Soulja Boy.
Oh, yeah. That is a good.
And then, there's something there. He's still around.
Soulja Boy still doing stuff?
He's had
feuding with Randy Orton.
Yeah, that too. Oh, he's had a resurgence on TikTok. He has a very popular TikTok song. So now he's back in the public eye. Biggest comeback since Tyga.
He did that one with Trey Songz and Gucci Mane, that LOL smiley face song, right?
Yeah. That's a good song. That song slaps.
Does it though? I feel like that's one that like I started out where I was like, this is a silly song, and I was like, no, I'm kind of into it though.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, League of Extraordinary Culture saying Glenn might need to tap into new artists from today. East Alfred put him on. I'm woefully behind on new music.
Glenn, I think you'd like Pooh Shiesty. Look up Pooh Shiesty and tell me what you think. I want a review of a Pooh Shiesty song.
Me too.
Well, it's a good name.
It is a good name. It's a fun name to say. Yeah.
And that's a lot of it, right? Like having a good artist name is the key.
Oh yeah, for sure. That might be part of the problem with LA Knight, is that's not a good name.
Not at all.
Now, if his name was J. Rue the Damager, I'd be like, that's a solid name. Because you hear a name like that and you're like, I want to hear that guy's record. I want to hear what J. Rue's about.
Would you want to see J. Rue wrestle though?
That's
Doesn't
tough.
sound too intimidating.
Wasn't
for a
he
wrestler.
calling up like hip hop journalists back in the early 90s, like that gave him a negative review and saying like you better watch your back? Like J. Rue's for real, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that story. I used to read like The Source, like cover to cover.
Yeah, The Source was my stuff too.
Yeah.
They used to have the 5 mics where they would grade, and then they got in that big beef with Eminem and completely ruined their credibility.
Well, because Benzino came on and it was like,
yeah, that was a very dark time for The Source.
What was the other one that was the competition to The Source? That was like it was
Vibe?
No, not Vibe. It was pre-Vibe. There used to be 2 hip hop magazines of note, and I can't remember.
Double XL?
No, it was pre. I'm talking like early 90s.
Before. Oh, okay.
Maybe it wasn't Word Up because Word Up was kind of like the bridge. I remember Word Up was like late 80s. Now this is gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to look and figure this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Source used to be where it was at.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's where. I mean, I would literally just buy records and singles based off reviews, which is weird. Kids today don't do that because now it's YouTube. You hear stuff in a commercial. But like, think about this. You read about hip hop and are like, I need to check this out.
Yeah, that was a fun time where you wouldn't hear it immediately. You can just go. You would just be like, oh, I hear this guy's good. So there'd be that build up to you finally hearing him. And if they were good, it was like a good payoff.
And The Source was good. I mean, that's how I discovered like AMG. That's how I discovered like a lot of the hip hop I was listening to late 80s, early 90s. Anyhow, I digress. It's Tuesday. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Thanks everyone for tuning in. But yeah, man, good. I'm getting music recommendations.
Hell
good.
Yeah.
So Pooh Shiesty. Again, fun name to say.
Yes.
It's like Scritti Politti. You know, I didn't even know what their music was for years. I just knew that the name made me smile.
That's all it is. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
It is all it takes.
That's how my relationship with Bad Bunny started. I was like, oh, Bad Bunny, that sounds cute. And now I'm obsessed. So
we'll come on the podcast Friday. Glenn will have like a Pooh Shiesty shirt. Like a $4 merch.
That and bunny ears, and our day will be made. Yeah. Look at his face. Wait, is he frozen or is he still like that? That's the best.
Poor guy. He probably Googled Pooh Shiesty and he's like, oh my.
No, Alfred, stop.
I think I don't know if Glenn's coming back. Is he messing with us, Glenn?
Yeah, I think Glenn is we scar him for life. You don't have to listen to Bad Bunny, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, if he doesn't come back soon enough, I can end the broadcast on our. Oh no, he's
gone.
Well, listen, he'll be back. Glenn is off getting a head start on Pooh Shiesty, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see you Friday. I'll be on the show back tomorrow on Wednesday to cover NXT. Or to cover no, it's not Wednesday because we don't have a show this week. So I'll see you guys Friday, okay? Issa, plug your chat and everything that's going on with you.
NYC Demon Diva on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube.
Excellent. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.